Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Money Matters Top Tips for Success, where each and every day I bring on new business owners, entrepreneurs, and executives and have them share their top tips for success with you. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at AskAdamTorres. Keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, moneymatterstoptips.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, so today is a very special Reunion 2020 episode. What is that? That's when I bring on a guest that I had on in the past, and I liked him so much I had to bring him back on for another return episode. So today's guest is Brian Vieaux, who is president over at FinLocker. Brian, welcome back to the show.
Adam, thanks, man. Thanks for having me back. I appreciate it.
Oh, man, so I'm excited. I got your message, and I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on? How did you steal your from Flagstar Bank? Last time we talked, you were over there, and now I'm like, you were there for a long time. And I'm like, wait a minute, FinLocker, so let's just jump right in. I don't want to waste any time. I want to spend it on talking about what you're doing. So tell me more about FinLocker. How'd they get you?
I love it. How'd they get me? Great question. So first of all, the last time you and I talked, I was with Flagstar running the third-party originations business in the mortgage side of the bank. Loved my role, loved my team, loved the company, loved all my colleagues, really loved my customers. But I had been watching FinLocker since the day they launched about 4.5 years ago. And some friends of mine are the co-founders, so been watching closely. And about a little over a year ago, I had met with the CEO and kind of got a vision from him on where the roadmap was going with the product, and got really excited about what they were doing and thought that we could really, it could really help us at Flagstar. So we started to engage while I was at Flagstar on becoming a client. And through that process, I got obviously to know a lot more about the company, a lot more about the product itself, again, understanding where the roadmap was going. And I kind of pivoted in my mind at a point from where I was a potential client to how do I become part of this thing, right? Can I invest in this? I'm really excited about it. Can I go there and help grow it? And so, I had some conversations with the co-founders, again, who I've known for decades as friends in business. And, we talked for probably close to 5 months or so about how we might work together and put something together. And fast forward to July of 2019, I left Flagstar on great terms and joined FinLocker as an investor and as president. And so it's been an awesome kind of 6 months so far, and we've got a lot of great momentum ahead of us, which is great.
Man, that's exciting. Well, let's start out with congratulations, of course. That's really exciting. And let's start out with an overview of the company. Tell us a little bit more about it, please.
Sure. Yeah, thank you. So, first of all, we are a business to consumer, so a B2B2C business model, and we built a consumer-facing financial app that helps consumers manage their entire financial life in one safe, secure vault, or as we like to call it, locker. And so essentially any financial services account that a consumer has that has online credentials can be enrolled in our locker. And so if you think about, having a couple assets accounts, a checking account, some credit card accounts, auto loans, student loans, what have you, and, you periodically want to keep tabs on those, you go log into every one of those accounts.
So many.
Yeah. So exactly. So we consolidated that all into our single locker. So for one, it's just a quick place for someone to come and keep tabs on all of their accounts. We bring in all of the transactional data. We harvest that every evening. We can connect to over 18,000 financial institutions. Our partner in our data aggregation is Fiserv, so they're one of the largest core banking system providers in the banking industry. So they're oftentimes when they're accessing a financial institution, they're accessing someone that's on their core system, and so it helps us get a very rich set of data. The transactional data feeds the next kind of benefit and tool for a consumer, which is spending analysis, spending budgets, savings goals, et cetera. So we enable very enriched budget and savings tools that are all based on the actual transaction data from the consumer's enrolled account. So not a lot of manual input, not a lot of manual management. It's all kind of done and updated each evening when we harvest the new data. The other benefits to a consumer is we partner with Equifax, and we enable a consumer to access their credit score, credit report, but also they can get credit monitoring and any credit alerts that may be occurring on their credit report. And so that, what's important there is the credit alerts, right? So if something happens on their credit report, they get an inquiry or there's a new account opened, things like that, they will get an alert, which is another way to kind of monitor and make sure that there's no potential identity theft going on as it relates to someone's identity, right? So no one's on and opened a credit card in your name. So there's another tool for that. We are very focused today on home and mortgage. And so if you're a property owner already, you can enroll your property address, and then you can track in the locker the value of the property. We also provide. Wow,
this is pretty expansive. Like you're
you're
really covering. When you said covers your financial situation, like that's a pretty broad way of saying it. But you hit a lot of parts of the balance sheet so far. So go ahead, keep talking. I want to hear more. I'm sitting here like, what? They're doing that? What? You can do that too? What doesn't it do? Iron Man, I love it. Go ahead.
I love it. So yeah, so home and mortgage, again, a big area of focus. So I obviously came out of 27 years in mortgage banking. Our two of our founders spent a lot of their career in mortgage banking, and our third co-founder is really comes at this from more of the technology side of the business and specifically cybersecurity. So we take security extremely. It's the highest priority is the security of a consumer's data in our locker. In fact, we have multiple layers of security as a locker is opened up. So there's multi-factor authentication both at the mobile device level as well as at the email address level. We collect some security information questions that can be used to only positive identify the user of the locker in the event that there's a password lockout, things of that sort. And then we do an identity verification step that is happening in conjunction with Equifax, where we are asking out-of-the-wallet questions to confirm that you are who say you are before we set up your locker. So, bank level plus security is what's wrapped around this financial locker. So back to some of the tools and elements in the locker. Again, property value. You can also, we've got this nosy neighbor feature we call it, where you can see recently sold properties and what they sold for near your property. We've enabled real estate search. So if you're a first-time home buyer or you're a current homeowner and you're considering buying a new home or a second home or investment property, we now can enable real estate search for consumers in the locker where they can search available properties that are on the market and actually set up a kind of a profile for what they're looking for. I want to be in this zip code with 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, et cetera, et cetera. And as those particular properties that meet those attributes come on market, they'll show up in the locker, and you'll actually get a notification that they're there and for you to look at. So that's an exciting addition to the locker for us. And then finally, we kind of wrap it all into a bow as it relates to mortgage readiness. And this is where we're really excited because we're hyper-focused on serving the first-time home buyer segment, kind of the underserved mortgage segment that's out there. So there's millions of consumers that want to be homeowners and just aren't quite ready yet. And so so FinLocker brings kind of this financial assessment. We produce a mortgage readiness scorecard inside the locker for the consumer. We show them where they stand today and where they need to, maybe make some adjustments and changes in their spending to get back on track, or maybe they need to set a savings goal to get towards their down payment savings. But then we wrap that in a kind of this context of education. We have a library of over 140 plus home ownership and mortgage industry type education and short videos. So we're delivering to the consumer, again, especially that first time home buyer, mortgage education, home ownership readiness and preparedness to really enable that consumer to kind of move through that journey towards home ownership in a safe, secure, and responsible manner. And then I mentioned the B to B to C. Today our clients are financial institutions, banks, credit unions, mortgage lenders, real estate professionals who provide lockers to their customers and prospects for free. And then we white label the locker in the name of that financial institution, so it really becomes kind of part of their ecosystem. And then the real magic in the locker is when that consumer is ready to transact and start a mortgage application, we can enable the pre-filling of a mortgage application with the data that's already been collected in the locker, as well as any documents that the consumer may have stored in the locker. We have a secure place to store important documents, especially as you're preparing for a mortgage. Could be some pay stubs, tax returns, things of that sort. And again, once you're ready to make application, it's literally one click of a button and the data is now shared securely with your lender through this portal. So no more unsecure emails of delivering data and documents to your mortgage lender.
So you basically created like the dream scenario for a mortgage broker or a lender in any sense. They're like, oh, what do you have to do? Oh, log in. You don't have to do these emails, all these other things. Are you kidding me? It's amazing.
Yeah, we like to think that. Yeah, we've got some customers that are enjoying the product, and we're just we're really like I said earlier, we've got a lot of great momentum going on right now, bringing on some big customers, and just really excited about the trajectory of the company.
Man, that's really exciting. So, Brian, how do people? I mean, you got me all warmed up and excited over here. You're like, oh, you get to do this and this and this. I'm like, wait a minute, does this thing give me a cup of coffee too? What's next, Brian? So how do people get these FinLockers? I mean, because there's some people listening right now. Like, is this for real? And I asked on two sides of that question. So, number one, how do the mortgage companies and the businesses out there that it makes sense for them to have this white labeling option or to be part of the platform? How do they get it, number one? And then number two, obviously the consumers out there, how do they get it? Because I know there's a lot of people that are going to want to download this thing.
Yeah, for sure. So to answer your first question, how do the mortgage originators, brokers, lenders, banks, credit unions, real estate professionals that are listening, how do they kind of learn more or get access to being able to provide this? It's pretty simple. We have a robust sales and marketing department. You're talking to him right now. So send me an email, and I'm assuming when we produce this and send it out, we'll share the email address. But my email is Brian, BRIAN .Vieaux, V as in Victor, IEAUX @FinLocker.com. So anybody can reach out to me, and we can set up a demo and take them through the setup process. And then on the consumer side, because we are B2B2C, typically and traditionally, consumers would get access to lockers through a lender that they're engaged with. But for a short time right now, we're actually opening up a direct line to FinLocker where we're providing lockers directly to consumers without a financial institution attached to it. And they can, consumers can come to, they can also email me, brian.vieaux @FinLocker.com. But we're also going to attach an invitation link to this podcast when it's distributed so that people can click that link directly. It'll take them right through to the enrollment process. But in the interim, my email is suitable for both businesses that want to learn more and all of your listeners, whether they're potential clients as businesses or consumers that want to have access to a tool to help them manage their financial life.
Awesome.
And of course,
hey,
Adam,
Brian,
we want to see you enrolled in a locker, Adam, as well.
I'm really excited about this, number one. Number two, it's great to catch up because I love to see it. So people taking that lead, getting into the business, and changing things. This is what it's all about. So disrupting and creating new things and to add value where we can. And you obviously use your expertise, over 20 years experience in the financial services side of things, especially on the mortgage side. Could you imagine if when you were starting out or something else in your career, you didn't have to deal with all these emails and other things. If your company provided an app and that app is like, oh yeah, your client gets to do all this and this and do that, and then it's just done. It's like, man, I like to say it all the time, Brian. I've been starting to do it. I think I'm showing my age on the podcast. I'm like, these kids today, these new mortgage originators. When I started in mortgages, that was my first out of college job, and we had to use paper, and I had to drive to the house. And now look at you, you got your app. Come on, Brian, making things too easy on the kids. I love it. So, hey, thank you again for coming on the show. Been great catching up, good time. And to the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. Without you, there is no show. Keep listening. Subscribe. We launched our YouTube channel this year, Money Matters Top Tips. Leave us some comments in the comment section on this video. Love to hear what you thought about it. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button also. We need you to do that. And Brian, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you, Adam. I appreciate it.